What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Now, I know it's been a long time since we've done a Give Them Lala podcast episode here, but because this is the one about the birth of Baby Sosa, I really wanted to cover this episode because she goes into a lot of different details, especially the incredible birth story of baby number 2. And as well as why she chose the name Sosa for Baby Sosa. That's also pretty much what the show notes say, except in the beginning they say, surprise, Lala's returned, because she has not been a part of the podcast for the last month, but she's back, and she's ready to tell the story of Baby Sosa, and she is looking better than ever as well. So let's not waste any time. Make sure to like this video. It really helps support my channel here. And subscribe if you're not yet subscribed, so that way you can turn your notifications on to all to get notified every time I post a video or go live. Alright guys, let's get into it.
All right, guys, welcome to the Give Them Lala podcast with Gigi filling in for Lala Kent. Woo!
Love it already.
Amazing.
So my practice paid off?
Yes.
It didn't seem like you got a lot of it, but it worked today.
Oh.
That was good. That was good, Gigi. How are you feeling? How are you feeling about this? I know you have a little something to say for everyone. We have a little surprise I hear.
We have a huge surprise in the house. Let's give it up for Lala Kent.
Let's give it up for
You are a treasure. You are.
You are the best ever.
I feel like I should be walking out on like a talk show.
Let's do it.
I love it.
Lala, welcome back to your podcast, the Give Them Lala podcast. How are you feeling?
I feel so bad because I walked in and saw producers and like didn't give them the warmest of welcomes.
You didn't?
Well, because it just feels like I haven't been gone.
Oh.
And then I realized I haven't been in studio for over a month.
Mm-hmm.
And then I came in and gave them a warm.
Hi.
It doesn't feel like we skipped a beat. And here I am like not pregnant anymore.
Friggin' 2 weeks postpartum.
Looking amazing, by the way.
Oh, tell me more.
Yes.
I went to a parent mixer the other night and the moms were so nice to me. And I was like, I don't have a man. So like, please tell me how hot I am again. Like this whole entire night, just tell me, you can't believe I gave birth. You know, like all the things that like usually someone's partner says to them. I'm like, my mom tells me, but like, you guys are hot bitches. Can you also tell me?
She just got thrown under the bus. This is a hot bitch too.
She's a hot bitch too. No, but you.
Lala looks amazing. She really does. She has the bounce back.
That was not a dig at you not being. You're a hot bitch, but you're my mom. Like you have to say, like you look great, sweetie.
No, I don't. I don't have to say anything.
That's true.
That is true.
She doesn't have to, but she does.
Yeah.
You do look amazing, but your energy seems amazing. Is there a big difference between how you're feeling now, 2 weeks postpartum with Sosa, versus how you felt with O?
I feel like I was wrecked with O.
Really?
Yeah. Because I had never given birth before. It was like such a shock to my body, even though like, yes, they say that just giving birth, like your body knows what to do, right? But Sosa was 2 pounds heavier than Ocean at birth and 2 inches longer. And I feel like the birthing process with her and just like coming home from the hospital and recovering, like I'm kind of killing it. They give you pain meds. My OB was like, how are we on a scale of 1 to 10? Like, are we needing heavy duty or are we needing like not much? And I was like, I mean, I'm pretty much at a 1. And maybe because the hospital was keeping me pretty stable with the pain meds. But dude, I haven't taken them at all. Whereas with Ocean, I was like sobbing. Someone put a pain medication inside of me because my vagina feels like it's going to explode all over the walls.
Really?
That's
Not
just
to
a
be
nice
too
fun
graphic.
movie of Saw.
Nice graphic picture.
I know.
You're welcome.
It's Saw.
You're welcome.
Oh my goodness.
I want to say that this experience for her was also very different than the first, because when she had Ocean, that was during Covina times, and she really wasn't doing the same things that she was doing for that pregnancy with Baby Sosa's pregnancy, like working out with Jenna and just being active and moving and continuing to keep doing what she was doing, where like during Covina times it was very stale and everyone was home and not doing the same kind of activities as we are now doing, like kind of like before Covina happened, where we're actively moving and doing things. And I think that made a big difference as well, and she was prepared this time. She knew what it felt like. She knew what to expect, and it can make a world of difference. But I'm happy she's feeling great, and her bounce back, she looks incredible so far. 2 weeks. This was 2 weeks after she gave birth.
No, and I wasn't there for the birthing experience for Ocean in the room right when it
Happened.
occurred.
Yeah.
But I was there with Sosa, and it was so beautiful, you guys.
Was
And
that-
Jess was there.
It was quite literally, I want to hear what you both think because I've never been in the room for a birth and it was life-changing. And I'm not even saying that lightly. I was like, oh my God, this is like miraculous. This is life. It was the most amazing
It
experience.
was beautiful.
It
Like, I
really-
could cry right now.
Cry.
No, it was.
Cry.
Yes, Lise, Jeej.
Gigi.
I know.
Golden Gigi.
And not being there for Ocean's, inside the room for Ocean's birth was obviously not your choice. But
No,
like,
I was asked by.
yes,
yeah.
yes.
I asked to be induced. A lot of people, I think, they kind of just let the baby run the show and they're like, this is my due date. But if I go over, like, that's the game plan. If you want to kickstart labor, I have a night nurse who's also a doula. And so Stassi and I were in constant communication. She's like, if you're done, like, call so-and-so. She'll have you go through this, that, and the other so that it'll kickstart labor. And I'm like, no, I don't think anyone understands. We're not kickstarting labor. We're being induced. I know how I want this to go. Like, everyone has their birthing plan, right? And as long as we stayed on that path where Sosa didn't come early, like, we're on track for the birthing plan. You're always prepared to, like, have things kind of go sideways or you're veered off into a direction and you kind of just roll with it. But up until it was my birthday, September 2nd. I'm like, she's still not here. I'm not feeling anything. Like, okay, the birthing plan is happening the way that it's supposed to. Sosa's a little badass. She didn't want to share a birthday with me. So she came the next day. She's September 3rd, which is so wild. I'm like, oh my gosh, my little Virgo, back-to-back birthdays. They induced me at 4:30 a.m.?
Mm-hmm. We got there at 4. Checked you in. Got you into the room.
Yep. And
Yep.
it was myself, obviously. Jess was there, my mom and my sister-in-law.
Yep.
And just a room full of women who I love and adore as I prepare to give birth to.
The love of our lives. The second love.
The whole thing was like
Yep.
so perfect.
No, it was it was absolutely beautiful.
Even the energy was very, like, it was beautiful walking into the room. Like, everything was great.
Now, she did share a video on her IG that I want to share with you guys now, which was right up before she started pushing Baby Sosa. So let's take a peek at this video. We're in here. All right.
I have to call
your
Easton.
thing, Queen.
Call Easton. I just want to tell him that you're ready to go.
I'm ready to go.
Oh my gosh!
We're gonna have a baby.
It was so calm. It was just like feminine energy. I was giving birth to a little girl knowing that, like, I chose to do motherhood by myself. It was wild because it was like a montage of all this stuff playing through my mind as I'm sitting there being like, we're starting the process of, like, inducing me to give birth. And it was like, oh my gosh, the moment that I reached out to California Cryobank and we found the perfect donor, like, everything just started playing through my mind. And I'm like, we're here. Like, we're freaking doing this. And then all the female nurses, it was just like a room full of fucking female forces.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right?
It was
Totally.
so beautiful. It was so beautiful. Did you have any?
No, we were all on cloud 9. But I will say the most terrifying part was the initial IV that I, like, basically passed out with Ocean. I did not pass out with the initial IV. I walk in, they're like, so we're going to start you on Pitocin first. And I was like, nah. Hail to the nah.
What is Pitocin?
Hell no.
It
Stupid question
kickstart.
for
No, it's not
man's
stupid at all.
question.
It's to kickstart labor.
Okay.
But why would I want you to kickstart labor without turning me into Humpty Dumpty first?
Without the pain meds.
I was like, no, we're going to first give me the Humpty Dumpty medicine,
And you know
which
what's
is called an epidural.
Yeah, and you know what's so crazy is obviously I gave birth 30 some odd years ago, and they had me just lay on my side and injected whatever they inject for the epidural, but they had her sit on the edge of the bed. It was so much different.
Cheryl and I walked out of the room for that.
Yeah. So I was-
Question.
yeah.
Was it done the same, though? If
What do you
that
mean?
makes sense. Like you were on your side, you're on the edge of the bed, but was the procedure still the same? Just the sitting
I'm
was
sure
different.
it was. I didn't see the procedure because obviously I was turned on my side when I gave birth.
They shove a giant needle into your spine.
In your spine. Yeah, I didn't want, and I did not want to watch hers because that's a little.
I
much
can't
for me.
imagine why. Terrifying.
Did you have any? So you said with the Ocean, you had the IV. You passed out. Did you have any negative experiences with this one as far as those, or no?
With the epidural and the initial just like thing that they put in to continue giving you whatever.
The IV.
Right, the IV.
I'm asking because I'm like, does she want to talk about it?
Yeah, I want to.
Okay.
So all is good. I don't pass out for either of the things that I thought I would. And then they come in and flip me on my back. And I think I talked to you guys before when I went to my final doctor's appointment with the anatomy doctor. He put me on my back and I was like, I'm passing out. He had me turn on my side. He acted unfazed. It happened again. Except this time they were like, they had me in butterfly position, putting the catheter in, and it was too much. I was like, I'm going down. I pass out.
Oh,
I
no.
remember turning my head because I knew I was going to throw up and I was worried that I was going to, what's it called?
Aspirate.
Yeah.
Aspirate.
Mm-hmm.
So I just remember passing out, but knowing to turn my head to start vomiting.
Yep.
And then I come to, and it happens again, but apparently it was like terrifying.
For me, it looked like you're having a seizure.
Lisa
like
and
your
I
eyes were
were-
just
yeah.
fixated, and your hands started shaking. And I'm like, we have a problem.
We have a problem.
We have a problem.
Something's wrong. Something's very wrong. It was actually, I do have to say, my hand was, I've never seen anything like that. My hand was shaking. Actually, I've seen it once with Katie, but not throwing up. My hand was shaking. And when
Like an exorcism.
when Lala came to, my hands shaking under, and Lala's like, did I just go out? And I'm like, yeah, but it was nothing. It was nothing.
Yeah.
You're fine. I'm
But
like
you passed
panicking
out.
inside.
Yeah.
I'm never going in a room to see, even my wife. All I'm seeing is a Saw movie, The Conjuring. It's just a hellhole in that room.
Now, clearly, I've never given birth to know how like an epidural feels or any of that. I can only imagine though her just going onto maybe her back, that maybe that triggered this blackout sensation. I'm no doctor. I wouldn't understand that. I do know like watching someone have a seizure is pretty damn scary. Personally, I have epilepsy, so I've never witnessed my own seizures, but I've seen other friends that have epilepsy have seizures, and it was the scariest thing I've ever seen, let alone that I hear when people have seen me have seizures, it was the scariest thing for them. So I can only imagine her mom was definitely feeling like something wasn't right and like panicking. And of course, Easton has to bring in like a Saw and like The Conjuring and probably the scariest shit he's ever seen, which I just saw the movie The Substance with Demi Moore. And speaking of like spinal taps, like, oh my God, it was a great creative, that's the best word I can use for it, very creative and imaginary. It was supposed to be like a horror film. It was gruesome, for sure. Gruesome to the max. Especially when a whole person comes out of someone's back and then they sutured the person's back up. That was very interesting. But she had to like stick this huge needle in Demi's back to like take spinal fluid out to be able to use that to continue like her week-long advent. It's a whole thing. You got to see the movie. I will say it was a great movie. Check it out if you haven't seen it yet. I actually got to watch it on somebody's Twitch channel that premiered movies, and it was very, very interesting. I couldn't stop watching, put it that way. I couldn't stop watching it. It was so interesting and creative that I couldn't stop watching. That's like the best way I can describe it. But that's what that needle reminded me of, was that's probably how an epidural feels, is that like huge needle going into Demi Moore's back like that. Oh man, I could never. But I can never do a natural birth either, so give me the fucking epidural. You know what I mean? But I would like to know, anyone that has given birth, has that been something that's happened to you, where like you've passed out after this experience, or just being put on your back after getting an epidural? I would love to know more. Let me know down below in the comments.
Okay, so people understand, it was every time you were put on your back. It was just a feeling you had in what, like your head, your body? Did you get dizzy?
Sosa must have been positioned in a way that when I was on my back, it made it so that I couldn't
Made you
stay
nauseated,
awake. It
obviously.
made me want to pass out.
Yeah.
And so I told them, I was like, I have to be on my side. There's no way that I can't be on my side because I'm going to be out cold.
Right.
And each time I would vomit, right? I
Yeah.
vomited both times.
But it's also like sometimes the nurses and doctors, they want to walk through, like, we're going to like put a needle in your
Oh,
arm
God.
and you'll
No, no.
feel a cool sensation, whatever the case may be. It's like enough information. Like we don't
Just
need
shove
to
it
know.
in.
Some
Yeah,
people love
just-
it, but you're right. Like I loved that you kept saying like, okay, yeah, she doesn't need to, and you said it too. Like she doesn't need, thank you, but she doesn't need to hear step by step.
We don't need a play-by-play.
Yeah, it freaks her out a little.
Yeah.
And I like even the most simple thing where it's like you just explaining what the medicine does. It's like, I don't want to hear any of it. Just come in,
I trust you.
say, hi, how are you? Let's start talking about my nipple tattoo. I don't give a shit what we talk about.
Yeah.
Right.
Shove it in. I'm aware that it'll probably hurt. I know what's going on. Don't talk about it. Let's talk about how many times I had to cover up a tattoo or something. I always go back to the tattoos. That is the first thing I start talking about. And it's always, I have a heart around my nipple. Just something to really get them like a little thrown off.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It gives me anxiety when people talk about what's going to happen next, like with
Me too.
needles and blood
Mhm.
and all that. So
Yeah.
I don't want to hear about it.
Yeah. But other than that, those were really, that was really like, and those were small hiccups, but that was like, unless I'm forgetting something, that was really the only hiccup.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would say the bigger thing for me was them inducing. With Ocean, I was induced at like, I got there at 8 a.m. and then I was hungry. So they were like, we can wait until 11. This was, I mean, do you remember recording me in the kitchen and I was having a hard time speaking? I thought I was stroking.
Yeah,
because
I have it.
Like I could not talk.
More
Why
sentences.
though? Were
I
you
think
just-
I was exhausted. It was like I tried to go to bed.
Well,
started to
we're not morning people. We're not. 4 o'clock in the morning, we are not morning people. We get sick if we don't get enough rest.
Yeah. Well,
And-
that's true. I get sick too.
Yeah.
Like it's not
And
good.
Cheryl does too.
Yeah, I was already feeling like I had a headache from not sleeping enough. And then I couldn't put together sentences. So the bigger thing for me was like, I was concerned about not being able to have enough strength to like have a baby.
Yeah.
For the most part, I'm the type that I want to know what's going on. I want the nurses to explain to me what they're doing, what they're putting in me, and all of that. Do I trust them? Wholeheartedly. But for me, it's not anything that's ever been an issue. And I think maybe I've also gotten used to it, where I know like some people cannot even like look at the side of a needle, but yet they have a million tattoos. You know what I mean? But for me, now, I'm like, I don't even tell them where to put the needle because I have really bad veins that's like, all right, I'm fine with you taking it from my hand or my wrist. Like, it's not a problem. And they look at me funny sometimes, but it's like I know my body and I know how it works. I was in the medical field in the sense, dental is a whole different field than medical, but it still has that same aspect that I always loved the anatomy and physiology of how things worked. And that's something I excelled in school doing. But I could completely understand just not wanting to know what's happening and just do it, get it over and done with. Just don't tell me. Don't even worry about it. But for the most part, it sounds like everything went very smoothly for her, which that makes me happy to hear. Just even being able to have the people that you want there too must have been so much more relaxing than, say, with Ocean, where it was during Covina and you couldn't have but one other person in the room. So, you know what I mean? It's definitely a good thing that it went all fine and dandy. And she has a beautiful, healthy baby girl.
And I didn't know this, by the way. You can't eat. You can't eat. Once you get the epidural, you just like, or is it you chose not to because you didn't want to be nauseous?
I had like an Uncrustable or something before, I think it was like 2:30 when I woke up to start getting ready.
But
But
while
no,
you're in
I-
the hospital.
No, I knew I couldn't eat.
But they
I
gave you
didn't know
broth.
that.
They gave you
You
some
could
broth.
have clear things. So they
Yeah.
gave me like chicken broth, ices,
Mm.
Jello, like all of the things that I did not participate in with Ocean
Mhm.
that I did with this because I'm sitting in this room. With Ocean, I had windows in my room. This one, I'm like, I don't know what time of day it is.
It felt like weird times of day, and then we'd go out in the hallway and be like, "Oh my god, it's like 8 a.m." and it felt like midnight.
No,
Yeah.
I know. It was very strange.
It's weird.
And I didn't want the lights on because I wanted to sleep. I'm like, I'm going to have enough strength to push out a human, and I'm worried I'm not going to be able to.
Yes.
That I started freaking out about that. After the passing out twice, I was like, there is a chance that I may not be able to do this, especially because every time I'm on my back, which is what I'm going to be in when I have to push her out, I'm passing out.
I know.
Yeah.
No, that was, I think, one of my biggest concerns. It went by so fast. Can I tell you? It felt like the longest day ever. And then all of a sudden, they're like, you're at 6 centimeters. If you feel pressure in your butt, let us know. So my mom decides to go get coffee for the 100th time that day.
No, I got a pink drink.
Whatever.
You went to a coffee shop.
She went to Starbucks.
Shout out Starbucks.
multiple times.
And
And
you're still so tired.
Just twice.
I am exhausted.
no, why did she walk in? After I had passed out hella times, my mom has the fucking ovaries to walk into my room and say,
I am exhausted. And then a couple times throughout, she said, Cheryl and I need to sleep. We need to sleep. We need to sleep.
here I am. I'm
Passing
like,
out.
they're coming in I'm passing out. I've got needles all over my body, including in my hoo-ha. They're coming in to change my bag, my
Yum.
pee bag every so often.
Well, I just wanted to share with you.
Let me tell you something. When a woman is laboring,
exhausted.
and then I'm being fisted every 15 minutes.
I left and literally you went from a 6 to what,
They-
a 10?
Oh, yeah,
Really?
keep telling that story.
So
Oh, my God.
Lisa says to my sister-in-law, we've got plenty of time. She's at a 6. Let's
Oh,
go get
no,
her
we
coffee.
went down and sat at the,
Oh,
in the cafe.
sad. They were
we had a croissant.
They had
we
a
had
snack.
a pink drink. We yik-yak.
They were enjoying a beautiful day in WeHo.
And you're-
And it was all windows, so it was a beautiful view. Like I was having
Please
the time of my
go
life.
fuck yourself.
You got
Okay.
as you're seizing, throwing up on yourself.
You know, remember, was that the
I
time,
am
too?
exhausted.
Where Lisa was like, no, come with us. We have plenty of time. And I said, and I was like, we need one person, at least one person here. So I'll stay. You guys come
Well,
back
I
and
was
then I'll leave.
treating Starbucks, so that's why I
That
thought
was
you
so
wanted
sweet.
to know.
And this right here is what I miss about the Give Them Lala podcast. Just how they all are together and their dynamic stories and adventures and just the way that they are together. It makes me laugh completely. I mean, damn, Lisa, going to Starbucks that many times? No. I totally would need that much coffee if I was waiting for someone to give birth. But then I'm also thinking, like, poor Lala, she can't even have a coffee or a latte or anything. Not that I know if she drinks that, but that's what I drink is lattes, so that would be devastating, only having clear liquid. Though, picking up coffee, it's not fun either. I've been there, done that.
Houston, I'm watching Cheryl, my sister-in-law, and Jessica make eyes at each other like someone needs to stay back. And my mom could not have been more unfazed by me having a baby.
No, I
She's
was
like, come on,
Come on.
it's gonna be a while.
It's my treat.
I trying to bribe.
I know.
Nobody took the bribe.
It was probably 15 minutes. They had left. The nurse came in. She feels me, goes, that's when she said, let me know if you feel the pain in the butt right before they leave. I ring the button. I'm like, I'm feeling a little bit of pressure in my butt. It's probably nothing, but it's a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
She comes in, fists me for the 500th time that day.
And when she says fist, she means fist.
No,
it was
they're
shocking
literally,
to
they're
see.
in there. I mean, there were times that the nurse came in and she was like, we're not going to break your water because I just felt her fingertips. And I'm like, oh
my
my
gosh.
No, literal.
I'm like,
fingertips.
Yeah.
I'm like,
It's
I
like
knew
birthing a
that she could
calf.
high five me if I were to put my hand too high in there.
100%. And then I looked at the nurse. I'm like, oh my God, she's elbow deep. Wow. I did not know.
But
And
see,
she just,
me leaving you guys
Was
what
good luck.
got you where you were.
Mom, enough out of you. Enough out of you.
So keep going.
So the slightest
No
bit of
accountability.
pressure, zero accountability. It has not changed, never will.
me
She's
brag.
63. I've accepted her for who she
Old
is.
dog, no new tricks.
Exactly.
But I love you guys.
we love you.
We love you too. Nurse comes in, says, "Oh, we're there. We're there. We're gonna call your OB." And I'm like,
Call my mom.
"Excellent. Where's my mom?" I'm ready for her to come.
Isn't that when I came in and told her I was exhausted?
I think it was either no. That's when you came in with your Starbucks bag, just trotting along,
Meandering. I was meandering.
Meandering.
chatting it up with Cheryl, and I
Yep.
said the baby's coming. Like,
Yeah.
She
And
couldn't
then
even find
everyone
me to
was
get me.
so excited because you have to remember, I had told my sister-in-law on multiple occasions, they're inducing me on the 1st. They're inducing me on the 2nd. They're now inducing me on the morning of the 3rd.
And Cheryl's from
she-
Utah. She had to change her flight.
Her flight. And she's like, there's a chance that the baby may be born after I have to go home. And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
If baby doesn't come, I will call
You
your
will not
office.
leave.
You're not leaving.
Yeah.
We didn't have to worry about that. But everyone gets so excited because our baby's coming. I'm freaking out. They tilt the bed up. And how?
Into the queen position. That's
no.
what it's called, right?
It's called throne's position.
Oh, throne.
It's
you
so
were the
powerful.
queen on the throne position.
And it looked
Yeah.
like a throne position. I'm not even
Yeah.
I'm not being sarcastic.
It was
sitting
sick.
there ready to just. Oh my God, it was so great. She
You
was straight up too. You were kind of straight up.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was fully straight up. I had to hold on to the bed thing so I
Yeah.
didn't come toppling over because, I was still a little front heavy. And they had me like with my legs like this.
Butterfly?
And just straight up like that because they were getting the baby to drop more. So she was, when I tell you, this baby was not in the birthing canal long, and she's got the head to prove that.
Oh,
She's
beautiful head.
the most gorgeous head you've ever seen in your life.
Round, perfect.
Round and
She's
perfect.
Beautiful.
She really is beautiful.
She's stunning.
And I'll tell you something. The nurses were like,
The best.
they were the best. They were the best. But they were also like, just telling us how beautiful she was. And for
Hey, you're
me-
jumping too far ahead.
Oh,
I haven't
sorry.
pushed yet,
Oh,
bitch.
hey. We were talking about her beautiful head.
My OB, who is the most fabulous OB in the entire world.
He is a man.
He's a man, a straight man.
Straight man.
He's got the most calming energy.
I adore that man.
I adore him.
So good.
Tilts me back. Jessica started recording a video at 10:11 p.m. By 10:13 p.m., my baby angel was in the world.
And you guys, I started recording before the first push, correct? I have never been more shocked in my life. I thought there was going to be an hour and 30-minute long video.
How?
I thought you push and then it's like the head is here and then 20 minutes later the shoulders are out.
no, you tried
I
to
didn't
shake
understand.
it out.
I can't say much because I'm kind of naive to this too. I've never actually seen somebody give birth. I know that some people can push for a long time and then some can do like 2 pushes and the baby's out. And that seems to be what Lala did. 2 pushes and the baby was out. So I guess I'm just as naive as Jess. But I do find it interesting to hear the whole events of just the clip that we saw and how it all transpired. I think it's very interesting, and this is why I wanted to do this podcast. Plus, I love their dynamic together, so I knew it was going to be a good episode, especially with her mom on the podcast.
But tell him about when he...
Well, it was in the video. It got a little, now that I know what was going on, I didn't at first, but during like my second to last push, he kind of stands up really fast and he's fixated on the monitor and he's making eyes with the nurse who's reading things to him that I clearly don't understand because I'm not a doctor. And he looks nervous.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, is everything okay? And he goes, yep, I just want you to keep pushing. We're going to keep pushing. And I was like, tell me when to go. He's like, I want you to go right now. The cord was wrapped around her neck a couple of times. And he stayed calm because I could see that something was wrong, but he didn't let me know that. She comes out, they put her on my chest, and I go to hug her, but, embrace my baby. But the way that the nurse is acting with the baby and she's not crying, she does one cry and then it stops. And my hands are freezing. So I'm like, I'm not touching her because I don't want to send her into shock. And I keep asking, you recorded this. I keep asking the nurse, is she okay? Is she okay? And they're rubbing her chest, sucking things out of her mouth. Apparently, for Mama, it was great that she came out so quickly because I didn't have to push very many times. But with a fast birth like that, she swallowed a lot of fluid, amniotic fluid, to the point where during our stay in the hospital, they were going to discharge me the next day. But she had so much fluid that she was vomiting all the food. She had an appetite. She was breathing okay. Everything seemed, she had her coloring, her tummy was soft. But then the nurses come in and they're like, there was one time that I think she turned purple because the nurse called in a bunch of other nurses. She was freaked out.
This was the next day?
This was the next day. They then bring in a specialist. And they're
Surgeon.
like, we want a surgeon to look at her because, this isn't normal. And we got 10 milliliters of amniotic fluid out of her stomach the first time. Then we got another 8. Then we got another however many milliliters. And they go, and now we're draining it through the nose and it won't stop. And they said, we're either going to have pediatric surgery deal with it or we want to keep her in the NICU. And so, of course, I'm beside myself. I'm like, what the fuck? I had nothing but, and they come in and they're like, what was your pregnancy like? And I'm like, it was perfect. Literally,
I think they were just kind of perplexed for a minute.
They were perplexed. But as someone who's not a doctor and I don't know these things, I had a beautiful pregnancy. She kicked my ass. She was active. There were no concerns, right? Mm-hmm. There were a ton of concerns with Ocean, and Ocean went home a healthy baby.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what? I started feeling guilty. I'm like, what did I do during this pregnancy that maybe I didn't do with Ocean? Because you do kind of ease up on the second pregnancy.
But I don't understand why they said, what is your pregnancy like versus it sounds like it was the labor. She came out so fast. Why does the pregnancy have anything to do with that?
They were perplexed.
Yeah,
they were trying to
thinking, we've pumped her stomach 3 times. We put a tube, down
Who
her.
knows?
Like,
yeah.
what could it
and
be?
What else
Okay.
could it like?
Okay.
Yeah.
It didn't seem like they were trying to like say that I had done something because I started crying and they were like, you did nothing wrong during pregnancy. We're a little confused. Cut to, they do send me home. She's fine. They're not concerned anymore. They're like, she's just going to have to, get it up and, spit it up.
Well,
And
didn't
how
the
is she
spit up
now?
change colors? Isn't that why? Like
Yeah,
it was
like
used to be like yellow and a little
It was like super
brownish?
colostromy, which is like bright yellow. Then it had
Brownish,
blood in
maroon.
it from like,
Because I remember
maybe
the nurse
inside
saying,
the womb.
if this still goes on, we have to keep her again. But it was easing up when I was there.
That sounds very scary, and I'd be concerned too. I mean, I didn't know that was a thing. See, I learned something new every day with whatever I'm doing that day. I learn new things literally every day. Like the other day, I learned that there was a weight limit to Plan B. Who knew that? Who knew that? Long story short, that's just the short end story. But literally, I learn new things every day. I didn't even realize, like, maybe pushing so fast, it puts a lot of strain and fluid into the baby, and that was a whole thing. I'm just glad she's okay, and she's home, she's healthy, she's doing well, and I don't know why Lala has these weird, like, commercial spots, but this is, like, one of these weird commercial spots. So let's keep listening because I'm kind of want to know more now.
Do you remember right after you gave birth, like a few minutes, and they kind of pulled the fluid out? Do you remember them showing you how much?
yeah. Out of the thing.
That was
that
a lot.
tube.
The yellowish fluid that they
Yeah.
took out of her. It was a lot.
It was a ton.
Yeah. So I am surprised, actually, they didn't keep her for longer. Like, that's a great
I was
sign.
surprised, honestly, when I was going and back and forth. I was thinking you were going to be there at least another night or 2.
Mhm.
I really
Well,
did.
we were only supposed to stay overnight and leave, and we actually stayed 2 nights.
But and that was
then-
your decision. They said you could leave or stay another night,
No,
or did
no,
they say
I
we're
could
keeping
leave,
you in?
And the baby
but the
was
baby
not
would
leaving.
stay, and
Okay.
I'm like,
I'm not leaving.
I
the
am
baby.
not leaving my baby here while I go have a nice sleep at home. Are you crazy? First of all, I wouldn't have a nice sleep, but like, no, like this is my cub, my baby.
Right.
Fuck that noise.
Yeah. Yeah.
But all worked
how
out.
is she now?
All is fabulous. She's gained a pound in 1 week.
Speaking of poundage, I guessed the right weight.
Did you? How much?
Oh,
We all had a little pot going. Jessica started it.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be Shaquille
it
O'Neal.
was
Yeah, Easton said she was going to be 8.3 pounds.
8.3 pounds, and how many inches did you say?
Like 22.
Well, that
No.
wasn't far off, though.
I said
Well,
21 something. No, I said 20 point something.
You
20.8
didn't, you
or
didn't say
something.
20 because she was 20.08.
Oh, then I think I said 21. So
Okay.
I was
You did.
close
You were
on
close.
the,
Okay.
the length.
But
But
I
the
said 8 pounds.
No,
No.
7.
I mean,
No,
7.
I
Sorry.
said-
You guys were 8 pounds. I said 7 pounds, 8 ounces, and she was
She was
right
7 pounds, 8 ounces.
Wow.
right to the money.
I said
Right
7.2,
to the
I
money.
think. Right to the money. What did you guess? You guessed 7.2, maybe.
I think I was at 7.3 and I did like 21 inches, I think.
Yeah.
Timing wise, we were all pretty off, except Sheena was close or no?
I think Courtney was close.
Close.
Courtney
the
said she was going
closest.
to come at 1 a.m.
And she came at
10.
Which
10,
is sad that
13.
that's the closest one.
I know.
guess like,
Sheena said 11
yeah, I
p.m.
said like 10.
Oh, maybe Sheena was
Oh, then
closest.
Sheena was closest. We had bets going, and
Yeah.
all I know is she came out and she is the most gorgeous thing I've ever seen in my life.
She's a pretty baby.
She is a pretty baby. And I feel
Oh,
like the
she's stunning.
hospital did not have to say that. They see a lot of babies. I just don't feel like they have to. And there were nurses that would come in and do a double take of my child and say, she is beautiful.
She has these almond eyes. Like,
Oh,
she
no.
is.
They're
She
all-
looks,
button
can I say
nose.
she looks like my side of the family?
No, but
She does.
She does
she
that.
really
does. I'm looking at her and I'm like, you look like my uncle's baby photos, my mom's baby photos. I look identical to my mom, so clearly you look like me. And what's great is
So
no one can tell me
obviously she's
otherwise.
stunning.
She's stunning.
So clearly she is a 10 out of 10.
Oh,
10
I
out
was
of 10.
dying.
She's so stunning. She looks just like me.
she is
But
so
the
beautiful.
best thing was Lauren when she was got done breastfeeding her, and I walked in the house and she goes, "I hate it. I feel like I'm breastfeeding mom."
There are times she opens her eyes and I'm like,
She's like, my mother. It's me, mother.
It is literally.
I'm happy that she reminds her of Gigi. I was going to say Lauren. Oh my gosh. Lala's mom. Lauren. Well, that is her name. Lala's mom, though, is just so beautiful. And you can clearly see Lala gets her looks from her mama. And I'm glad that the baby is looking like them. I mean, really, we don't know what the donor's side of the family looks like to know if the baby has any resemblances that way. Did find it weird that she thinks she's like breastfeeding her mom. That's not something I would think about, but I guess when you're looking at a baby and trying to figure out who they look like, or if they have a lot of similarities of what they look like when they're a baby, I guess. I mean, I don't know. You guys think that's weird? Let me know down below.
Can I tell you guys, she is so sweet. Like, I have
She doesn't make a peep.
trauma from my two little ones.
Right.
And
Like-
Ocean.
Yeah,
Ocean
they were
is
so
the
colicky.
ocean.
They were so colicky, and so I have postpartum
Trauma.
trauma from
From the way their health or looks.
their health. being,
Thank you, Jess. That made me feel
no, I
very
had
good.
beautiful babies. No,
I didn't
from
mean for that to be
them
a
being
roast.
colicky, and so
Okay.
this baby, my fingers are so crossed, but so far she's dream baby.
I cannot stop
make a peep.
just like kissing this baby. What's different between this baby and Ocean? We've spoken about this before, but I remember with Ocean, I cried a lot, but not out of sadness. But I
You were just
couldn't
emotional.
Like your
process.
first-
It was like the
your first
first baby, and
Yeah.
I feel like it was a kind of a heavy environment that I went home to. With
That
this
was a
baby,
nightmare environment.
nightmare environment, and
I
I
wouldn't-
wouldn't wish it upon anybody.
No,
This baby is like so happy, and I
well, she's
feel
calm.
The
and she's-
environment, though, is
and
calm.
You guys, and you don't even know she's awake. Like you'll look at her and she's wide awake, just looking
looking
around.
around.
She's so.
She's
even
so
the
sweet.
night nurses have said how alert she is. And you guys, she can pick her head up
But yet
already.
she's not.
Let's talk about that.
I told y'all.
No, let's talk about it.
This baby is kicking my ass. She's headbutting my bladder, it feels like. I was like, she's kicking with her heel. Like, that's just what it felt like, okay? She comes out. They lay her on my chest for the first time. She lifts her head. And I'm like, oh my God.
No, she
And
did. I was like, oh, something was in the water. Like she's going to be like a Spider-Man of sorts or something. Like truly like a superhero because she literally is minutes old and she's just basically walking around the room is what it felt
No,
like.
really, though.
She lifted her head like, hey, what's up?
No, she was headbutting my bladder. And she does this thing with her feet where she's like, and she's so stiff, you guys.
and Lauren was so
She's
stiff. Lauren was so stiff as a child, like trying to change her diaper. Good luck.
Can you tell the cute thing though, La? You said when she came out and you put her on your chest, she was literally moving the same way that she was moving.
Identical. There was no difference. I was literally looking at the little person that had been living inside of me, and she was making the exact same movements that she was doing in there, except now she was upright, whereas before she was down there.
And you're like, are you kidding?
Wow, that's honestly amazing to hear that like she had so much strength in her already, just being a newborn at that point, lifting her head like that. That's incredible to hear. I know working at a chiropractic office, he did a lot of newborns as well and infants. And one of the things that he would tell these moms is to have the baby on their tummy so that way they were lifting their neck because it builds strength in their neck and in their spine and all of that good stuff. And I do agree with Easton. It's a much calmer environment than the last pregnancy and going home with her ex and all of that. That environment was toxic from everything that we've heard about it. That this is so much more calmer and the baby is calmer. It just makes it more peaceful. And I'm happy for her. I really am.
Can we talk about something that I know everyone's going to want to know?
Yeah.
Ocean first meeting her.
You guys.
Talk about it.
Ocean is the best big sister. Like, the
Tell us,
best.
set the scene. Where were you? When did she get to meet her? All of it.
I gotta
I-
bring her.
Yeah, I brought her to the hospital because I asked her, I said, do you want to meet your baby sister at the hospital? Because that can be scary for kids. Ocean does not like doctors. I said, or do you want to wait until mom comes home? And she said she wanted to come to the hospital. So Easton brought her and she sits on the couch.
We have a
I'm gonna
video
cry.
too. We have a video.
Aw.
But can
So
I
we
tell you
share
too,
but-
Easton is the best uncle in the
Thank
whole
you,
world
Mama.
too.
Yes.
Thank you.
We're emotional.
No, it's beautiful. Everyone's going to want to know if you are comfortable to share, unless you want to keep it. It's a private moment.
No, I think I am able to have such an amazing podcast and able to share these things because I'm on a show that's about my life and these moments weren't captured, which, you know, I do have my private moments, but like you guys are all so supportive for listening to the podcast, watching shows, following me on Instagram. Like I want you guys to be a part of this. But she was so sweet and delicate, Ocean was, that when I put her on, she looks at her and she goes, she's so cute, Mom. Look at how little she is, Mom. And that's how the first meeting was. And then it was Sosa, watch me do a backflip. And I'm like, not near the baby's head.
Right next to the baby,
No,
though.
right next to the baby. And she's
a
like, I'm going to
gymnast.
take her swimming. I'm like, no. We're not taking her swimming.
She wants to go to ball and bounce with her.
Oh yeah.
She does. She
wants to go
She
everywhere.
wants to go down the slide at Candyland, Mom. I'm like, she doesn't. She doesn't even know where she is right now.
But Sosa, I thought, was really cute because she gave her a gift. And I thought that was a really cute
Sosa
idea.
gave Ocean a gift.
Yes.
That was
Yeah.
a beautiful idea. What'd
in
she
the
give her?
hospital.
A baby.
Oh, another baby.
It looks like a real baby. And if you were to wake up and a light was on it in the middle of the night, you may think it's going to kill you, but
A
that's
little
fine.
Chucky
You
doll.
may
No,
also
it's
think
not
it's
Chucky.
Summer
Full of
Moon.
film
No,
size.
it's cute.
Identical to
It's Summer Moon.
No, it's
No,
beautiful
the
baby
company may
doll.
have a lawsuit because they took Summer Moon and made Summer Moon into an adult.
It's like
or
the-
into a baby doll.
The
No,
Elaine,
these babies that I bought Lauren as a child.
American.
And by the
No.
way, it doesn't
Something.
seem like it's going to kill you. It's the cutest baby. It just looks so
It looks real.
that if you were to wake up and see it, you'd be like, there's a baby watching me in this room.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And its
Oh,
eyes
no.
stay
But
open,
it's
yeah.
the same brand that I bought
Like a
her as a
Furby.
child.
And Ocean breastfeeds it while I breastfeed Sosa.
Oh,
And then she
perfect.
asked me the other day if
So I asked my mom, because I went to, like I told you guys, a parent mixer for Ocean's school, because I needed to feel like a human being still. I'm like, I need adult interaction. I need to not be covered in spit up and having my 3-year-old bully me at bedtime. All right. I just need 5 minutes. So I asked my mom, can you please feed the baby? And Ocean looks at her and she's, you have milk in your boobies, Gigi?
I love when she tells an Ocean story. Ocean is so intuitive. She's at that age where she is just catching every little thing, every detail, and she is just too funny. Of course she would ask something like that and be like wanting to be just like her mama. And also then wanting to take her to, Candyland and the ball pits and going down the slide. That's such an Ocean thing. And these are the moments that I wish we would get to see on Vanderpump, and we don't. And I know some people are like, I'd rather not see this. This is a side to, I was going to say Lauren again, Lala, that it's just something I love, just hearing her being a mom and all the cute, fun stuff that she does with Ocean and what Ocean says and does. I would just love to see that. It's magical. Just watching her go from like complete party girl to a mom of 2 girls now that are going to give her hell just like she gave her mom hell. We gotta love Lisa. I love Lisa. And totally was going to make me cry seeing those photos of Easton and the baby. He is such a great uncle, and I'm just happy that he's happy being the best uncle that he can be. It's adorable to see.
Ocean is so freaking cute.
oh, she's
So cute with
she
the
is
baby.
the best.
I do have a question though, because everyone wrote in, and remember they warned you. They were like, "She's gonna act out. Just be prepared." Have you had any moments like that, or pretty good?
Here's what it is. Ocean is a firecracker, right? She is the Ocean. She can be calm 1 minute, and then the next minute we've got a rogue, wave, duck, and fucking cover wherever you possibly can, right?
Right.
So I think it's less that she's acting out and more that I can't designate all my time to just her when she goes through those moments. I don't feel like she's changed.
no.
Just the
It's
same.
just more now where it's like the whole household is having to tap in. Like this morning, you should have seen me and Lise. I woke up at 6:30 to feed. Ocean got in my bed. We got her off to school. Thank God for TT who drove her to school.
my
The
favorite part of
moment
the
she was
day.
out of the house and Sosa was asleep, Lisa and I were passing each other on the stairs with a basket of laundry. It's
Loading
like
the dishwasher.
it was like,
Getting-
oh,
yeah.
You have a minute.
life has changed a bit.
Getting dressed for the day. I usually don't even get dressed anymore.
You don't have time. I've
Nope.
seen it.
I'm in my PJs all day.
Moms used to say, or moms, I would hear moms be like, "You don't know how thankful you are to like just have a moment in the shower." And I used to be like, that is so dramatic. Like, what do you mean to have a moment in the shower? You have kids, like you can get in the shower. But from what I hear,
Yeah.
that's real.
I'm not even the
I
Yeah,
get
that
my
is real.
contacts in and I'm doing well.
There was a comedian and he said, when you have kids, you have no idea how much you enjoy shutting that back door, and the quiet walk to your own door is like peace.
Oh, like
and I
when
was
you're in your car?
Wow, I never really noticed that. Yeah, like after I put Ocean in the car and I shut her door, I'm like, all right.
Well, it's like a
here's 5
win.
seconds of
It's a win.
quietness to
this-
mine. Reset.
Is making
But
me
you know
rethink
what?
kids.
No,
Kids
Rethink?
are the best.
No, they're the best. They're
best.
just talking all the time.
No, there's nothing better. Look at me. I'm widowed. And where would I be if I didn't have these 2 angels?
That's
Oh,
true.
Thank God we don't
Mommy,
have
we
it.
love
And
you.
Lisa,
I
I
love
love to
you
say
guys.
thank you. You really are amazing, and we tell you all the time, but I have to let everybody else know that you really are gold. And
Oh,
thank
thank
you
you.
for just
Thank
keeping everybody upright.
I love
You're
you
the
guys.
rock.
I really do. But kids are a treasure.
Kids are a treasure.
But again, if you don't want them, no judgment.
No,
But it is
No,
fun.
I have a friend that never had kids. You guys, she and her husband, they travel the countryside.
Well, they
that
do live
sounds
the dream.
stupid.
They do.
They never have. Okay,
man.
see, this is why it's so funny because
Well-
every time I talk to parents, and I know that's not what this is, but they're like, I don't get sleep. I haven't showered in weeks. I, am miserable. But kids are just a treasure. And I'm like, oh my god,
But
that
that's
sounds so
unselfish.
bad.
Every time I see people like, I don't want kids, I'm like, you are a selfish motherfucker.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, like I need sleep. I
Yeah,
want to
you
do
don't-
what I want. It's like, okay.
And then your
selfish.
kids give you these beautiful grandkids.
See?
So,
See, that
bonus
might be
upon
me though,
bonus.
you guys. Maybe I'll be the selfish auntie because I've got Sosa.
I think I will be too.
I've got Ocean. I've got Carter now. Like I've got so many babies. I'm like,
You got 3 kids.
I got
feels
3
like.
kids.
And you get like the best part. Like when they act up, you don't have to deal with it.
Yeah.
When they
True.
discover their private parts, you don't have to deal with it.
I go
you know?
bye. I grab my purse and
That's a
Yeah.
mama talk. Here
Yeah.
she is, and goodbye.
I say,
And this is still all the beginning of baby number 2 in her life. I think they'll get into a better routine. It'll better, help her with prioritizing, giving time to Ocean and giving time to Sosa. And it's still all very new. So when something is new, even like you start a new school or you start a new job, anything in life that's new, you have to get into a routine. And I think that Lala will get into a better routine that will better suit her needs as well as her kids' needs. And I'm happy to know that she has so much love and support and help from everybody all around her, especially Lisa and Easton and Jessica, that, she can find that little bit of time for herself. But I will say I totally understand where Jessica is coming from, and I have yet to have kids yet, so I don't exactly know what it feels like to not have any time, though I already feel like I don't have any time to do anything. But it's also that great feeling of like knowing that these kids get to go home to their parents kind of a feeling. That's always a great feeling.
I will say, if you don't want, like the women who come to me and they're like, I just don't know if I want kids. I'm like, then don't have them.
You need to
Because
know.
if you feel like you want kids, but you're waiting to be ready, you'll never be ready. But if you don't know, don't do it.
Right. Okay, so in this, on that note, do you feel it seems you do, the one is, what do you think about the statement? 1 is 1, 2 is 20.
I think because I prepared myself, so many people were like saying things like that, or 2 kids is no joke, that I prepared myself for it to be really hard. And I know that those moments are going to come where it's like, this is unbearable. I think we've got a good system where we can pass. Like Lisa was at her wit's end last night. I could feel it.
Well,
She was like,
Ocean
I'm
gets
done.
home, and we try to put her to bed, and she spills water all over her bed.
Well, no, you got to say she gets into her backpack for today.
Yeah.
Last night.
Oh, no,
and is
it
eating
went
the
on and
snacks
on
of
and
her
on.
lunch for tomorrow.
Yeah, she was
She
eating.
is me.
No.
That is me. She
You
is me.
guys,
I am her.
She got in and got the seaweed, and then all of a sudden I hear her bawling, and she's like, "I bit my tongue."
And we're like, what? How? What are you doing that you would bite your tongue at 10 p.m.? Go to bed.
No, she kept coming out, and then she'd come out last night. What was she saying?
It's really cute because we put her to bed and then we watch shows, and then like the
It was
theme
the
song will come on
music.
and she'll cut all seriously out and she's, Mom, I really like that song. Who sings that song? And I'm like, I'll download it and we'll listen to it on the way to school tomorrow. Go
like
to bed.
Bad Monkey. No, not Bad Monkey. It was Perfect Couple.
Perfect Couple, the
she
theme
loved
song.
this theme song of that. And then
Criminals by Megan Trainor. She's obsessed. She'd come out of her room like this.
oh no,
Is that why
last-
she likes the criminal thing? She's always like, you're going to jail.
You're going to jail.
You were bad. You're
But
going to jail.
I love
Can
it.
I tell you, we put her in her jammies. She got in bed. Then she comes out in a full princess costume, tiara, high heels, the whole 9 yards, telling us she loves the song and dancing.
I was telling Mom, we got to take the toys out of her room.
Oh no,
'Cause I wanted-
her
no,
bed
I'm gonna-
is stacked with toys and books. There's no place for her. So then last night she spills the water all over the bed, and I think, did you do this on purpose so you can get in my bed or your mom's bed, or was this an
She's
accident?
so smart. I wouldn't put that past her. She's
No,
so
100%.
smart.
No, she did it. No,
She spilled on purpose.
No, she did because I know this because when I was watching her when you were in the hospital, she will grab her water and put the lid on.
Yeah,
She did it 5-6 times.
So she
why
knows
not
to put
that
the-
night?
yeah.
No,
so she
she-
ended up sleeping with me, and then she trotted into her mother's room at what, 6?
She trotted
Oh,
up.
6.
What time was it?
I had just fed, so it was probably 3.
Oh, 3. Okay.
But
3
I
a.m.?
yeah. And
What?
she goes, Mom, you need to cuddle me.
No, but
No.
this is what happened. You came down into my room and you tried to turn her.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean?
Oh, God
So it
forbid
was
I try to make
you.
it so my
It was
child doesn't
you.
slide off the bed. She was like skawamp. Her feet were like off the bed.
Off of Gigi's bed?
Yeah, so I turned her vertically
And then she woke up.
and put her head on what's called a pillow
She moves a lot.
And Lisa goes, well, that's why she came in. You moved her. I was like, I did.
Well, either move
Into
or she's
sleeping
falling
position?
off that bed.
Yes, I did.
I love her so much.
That's
I was just angry that you took her from me. I'm kidding.
No, it was, I got it though. You weren't mad, but you were like, ready for bed. It was like we had tried to put her down for like 3 hours. It was
Yeah.
like enough already. And then I'm thinking, we'll clean out the toys. But then she keeps putting on her clothes. I'm like, I'm going to have to clear out the whole closet.
No.
This is to me, such a good sign because she's so imaginative. She
Yes.
is up, she's thinking, she's playing. She's not like head in the iPad up.
No.
No.
Yeah.
No, she's being creative.
She is
Let's
being-
just say this. When I went to this get together at her school where they had a bunch of people come in to talk about elementary school, my first question was, are you more academic or are you more creative? Because my kid's a creative.
yeah. And I think Sosa's going to be more academic.
Yeah.
We'll see.
If
Can
she's
I-
anything like
if
us,
she's
no.
anything like us, though, she won't be.
She will not even have an attention span.
I don't know.
And these are the moments that I really wish we could see on VPR. Like, just Ocean being creative herself, just so imaginary. I think it would be wonderful, though. I know it'll never happen. You never know what the future may hold, though, either. But I just feel like she definitely has her mom's personality for sure. And she's very, very imaginary. And her mind just goes to the funniest, but like craziest things in the same sense. Every story that like Lala, Jess, Easton, even Lisa tell, I just love hearing about because she just so creative. That's like how I was as a kid. So it's cool to see somebody else that's like that at such a young age. And we're going to get to see her grow up too and see just how more creative Miss Ocean gets. And I do love how, like, Lala said she's kind of like the ocean in the sense that it can be calm one minute and then furious the next. That is completely what the ocean is like. I live on the ocean to know. Like, high tide sometimes can get a little crazy, especially during horrible storms, which we will talk about a little bit at the end. So please stay tuned because I know that a lot of people have been affected because of Hurricane Helene or Helena, however you want to say it. I think it's Helena. But I have a friend here from YouTube that has lost everything. She lost her apartment, she lost her cars, all of that. My parents, who are up north a little bit more from Florida, they're in a town where they had horrible mudslides. Their whole town was underwater. My parents thankfully are safe and their property is safe, but a lot of their friends and family have lost everything as well. And I just at least want to help somebody that I know out. And I know that you guys are like me, that if you can help, you will, and any little bit helps. So I will be providing my friend Sarah Z's Cash App and information and a little video about her loss at the end of this. So stay tuned for that, please.
Can I ask, La, because I know some people have asked,
Yeah.
and
Ask.
society would
Mhm.
consider you a single mom, even though I know you don't say that because you have,
The
Gigi
pod.
and
The pod.
Do
the
you
pod.
are you comfortable talking about the help you have right now, if any?
Yes, of
Okay.
course. I think it's important to talk about the help that you have. And I also think it's important for moms to know that when you are at your wit's end, if you need to tap in a friend and you say, it's too much for me, I need a moment and a break to not feel guilty, even if your baby is 2 weeks old and it's new and you're like, how do I already need a break? You need a break.
Mhm.
Like,
And it's okay to ask
and
for
it's
breaks.
okay to
it's
ask for a
okay to
break.
ask for help.
it's
okay.
also okay to be like, wow, I have this beautiful new baby. Why am I not happy?
Put your oxygen mask on first.
Yes,
Yeah.
before you helping others.
Mhm.
If you have just given birth and you're like, why am I not connecting? Why do I not feel happy? Because you just gave birth to a human and it's a lot and there's a lot of hormones happening and chemical imbalances. It's all good. Reach out and talk to somebody about it. The help that I have, I obviously have my brother Easton. I have my mom, who's a tremendous amount of help. I am fortunate enough to have been able to bring on a night nurse who takes care of Sosa 3 nights a week so that I can get some sleep and I only have to wake up to pump. Right now, I have a doula that I'm fortunate enough to bring in so that I can be here and podcast with you guys.
What's a doula? Like a nanny? Or like a infant nanny or something?
A doula
A
is
night
someone
nurse?
she's trained as a night nurse as well, but a doula is someone that you bring on and it's you can bring them on from the time you get pregnant. They kind of help you through your pregnancy and this stage of motherhood and baby's life. They're professionals on, right? Like a nanny I would bring on when my child's a little bit older. Ocean's first nanny was when she was 4 months. So a doula is just someone who's like really trained on the beginning stages of motherhood and baby's life.
Okay.
And your night nurse helps to sleep train.
Yep, sleep train.
Get you sleep.
Get me sleep, washes the pump, puts it outside my door so that I can just wake up, feed. I send her a text, milk's ready. She grabs it. I'm fortunate enough to have the help that I have. And that's why when I say I'm a single mom, I don't really feel great about using that because I know single moms who are working 2-3 jobs. And those
I don't know how single moms do what they do.
Yeah.
They're super.
No, they're superheroes.
They really are.
Yeah, truly. I'm a single mom in the sense that I'm a single income household, which there are many moms who do that. And that's why I think they consider me a single parent in the state of California.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't feel that way.
Yeah.
I feel like I have a lot of support.
Yeah.
I don't feel that way. I do have a lot of support.
Yeah. No, thank you for being like open and honest with that because that is like something I definitely realized, I think, as a nanny too, is just like, oh, interesting to see, as a nanny years ago, like these certain families who get a lot of help, even the single moms and single parents versus maybe a friend of mine who just had a baby but got a divorce and like what she's. So it's everyone's on, there's a whole spectrum, but thank you for talking about it.
I think a lot of people were curious to know because when she had Ocean, she had like a morning nurse and a night nurse. And I know that's like gotta be expensive to be able to afford something like that. And it's interesting to know she at least was able to afford a night nurse to help her so she can get some sleep 3 days a week. That's great. That's a privilege. And I'm happy that she has all the help that she does have. And I knew what doulas were. Like, I knew that doulas were, there for people that are pregnant. And it's like more like they know everything about the baby and the first stages during pregnancy and all of that. But I didn't realize, like, they also were there after the baby is born and, like, did things like watch the baby kind of a situation. I'd never heard of that. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's because I don't have kids, so I don't know any of that. But, like, I've never heard that. And I've heard of doulas and what doulas do. And, like, I remember from Unexpected, which is a TLC show, one of the girls wanted to become a doula, and she was learning all about it. And, like, I was learning all about it as she was learning about it. So, just not something that I ever heard. So, I'm very interested to know that doulas do that. And I do agree with Lala. I don't really see her as a single parent or a single mom, even though she is a single mom. She has a lot of help, a lot of support. And I did say that in the last audio. And I'm happy for her because there are people out there that don't have any support, that literally struggle, work 3 jobs just to provide for their child. And it's sad. It's sad to see people that don't have anybody, but I'm so happy she has so many people behind her and that she has a team. That's all anyone would want.
And I think postpartum depression needs to be talked about a lot because I suffered from it. And you're taking your placenta pills.
Yeah, and
that wasn't a thing when I was going through mine.
No, and a lot of people wrote in and they were very anti, and this is me letting you know my experience with taking my placenta in a capsule form. I have noticed it helps me tremendously. At the beginning of this pregnancy or birth, I was sobbing a lot, and my mom would say, she's been the one that's telling me, like, did you take your placenta pills? Here's 4, here's 4, here's 4.
Yesterday
But
she goes,
I
you might
lived
need to
it, you
take
guys.
3.
No, but I lived postpartum depression. I know firsthand.
So from my
It's rough.
I cannot even imagine. So
Yeah.
from my experience, it has helped me a lot when I feel like my mood is plummeting and I'm kind of going, why am I feeling this way? I get to like chill with my baby and live a beautiful life. If you're feeling depressed, I recommend you reach out to a doctor, but I would not like shit on taking your your placenta home
No.
and
Yeah.
or having someone encapsulate it.
My sister did not do it, and she did regret it, and she would be fine with me focusing or mentioning that. Speaking of placenta, though, I will mention I handled Lala's placenta
I
like
know.
a
You're
I
a
feel
rock
no,
star.
but I feel. Can I tell you, if I were more together, but I had just had the baby,
Yeah.
and so I was
And
kind of.
I was exhausted. So.
No, no. No.
But
Wow.
looking over at you do that, after I got some sleep, I was like, I cannot believe I allowed Jessica to do that.
What are you talking about? I felt like such a bad bitch. They were like, you. So basically, what I understand is I don't think that the hospital can only handle your placenta to a certain extent. They can't put it in the coolers and stuff because that's for the company that does the placenta capsules. So the nurse was like, yeah, we can only do this. So I put the gloves on. I got the placenta out of the pan, dumped it into where it needed to be. It looked like, like meats, you
Did you
guys,
see
like a
the,
steak and a sausage of
Yeah,
sorts.
did you see the placenta painting?
Big roast.
And I dumped it on in, and I said, oh, there's Lala's
Dumped
placenta.
it on
I
in.
dumped it into a cooler, and then we filled it. We put ice around it, and it was.
And then it got picked up.
I was
and it got
pretending I was in
encapsulated.
Grey's Anatomy. I was in
It's rem-
such a scene. I was like putting the gloves on, washing the hands.
It's
I
giving
felt.
rat race with a heart.
I don't even remember that scene, but yes.
It's how it is. I love that movie. No, the placenta pills are everything, and
I
I,
think they're a
highly
game changer.
recommend.
See, something else I learned today. Who knew that if you wanted to keep the placenta, that the nurses can only do so much, and then you have to do it if you want to keep it. You have to put it in a cooler and stuff to save it, to send it to wherever it needs to go. Very interesting. See, I learn new things every day, every which way possible. I'm also glad that with her experience that these placenta pills are helping with her postpartum. I know that is a big issue. It's something that needs to be talked about as well. And I feel like a lot of mothers struggle with this and they just don't talk about it. And there needs to be more communication behind it. And I'm also interested in like the studies and what they show about people that take the placenta pills and all of that. I know like there are other things you could do with the placenta. Pills would probably be like the only way that I go kind of thing if I was to do anything with my placenta. But then I gotta find somebody to like put it in a cooler. I don't think my boyfriend would be down for that. So, gotta remember that. Gotta remember that for when that time comes. I'm curious, though, to know if any of you have done anything with yours, if you've given birth. And if you have, did you do pills? Did you do something else? And if you did it help? I'm very curious to know. Let me know down below.
If you don't, sorry to interrupt, if you don't do placenta pills, is there another alternate like route you could take?
You can
That's a
take
good
it home
question.
and like eat it.
As a
you can
like a
turn it
steak.
into
Are you saying for postpartum depression? Or
Well,
for
yeah, just for
for postpartum depression. I am
12 shots. That's what I
yeah,
took.
like if you
Okay.
don't eat, like if you disregard your placenta, like that, like what do like so B12?
I'm
B12
not-
shots, and then they also can put you on depression medication, which I opted against because I was too afraid.
Yeah, but
that
you
you
said
did.
now because it was a different day and age
Right.
back then. You said now you
Yeah.
would have done that.
Right.
And I am saying it is not proven that the placenta pills cure or help your postpartum depression if you suffer from that. I am talking about from my personal experience, it has helped level me out. Whether that's scientifically proven or not,
placebo effect or
I-
whatever
I-
it is, it helps.
so I'm saying reach out to somebody, a professional, if you are struggling.
Even a friend, you guys, like make it known. I'm struggling today. I need help.
And know that it will pass.
Yeah,
This
absolutely.
too shall pass.
Yep.
Yeah. I am so happy that she is here. And I will say already she's 2 weeks and I'm not entirely sure that I'm done.
Are you serious?
She told me she was done.
She told
when
us she was done.
I know when she brought her home, and I said, "Too early to tell. Too early."
You really think you could have another?
I just like love the whole thing.
Aw.
well, and she's born to have kids. Hello, bounce back.
Yeah.
The whole pregnancy, like you're really blessed. You really are.
Well, thank you. Beyond that, I just enjoy it. They give me so much.
Such a good mama too.
Yeah.
The
they give
best.
me
You
my
really are
purpose.
the good,
No,
the
you
best
are
mom.
the best mom. You're beautiful at what you do. Like, kudos to
I
you.
wish everybody
Yeah.
could see how great you are on
I-
that end.
Thank you. I think I'm glad that no one gets to see that part because it's so special
Private.
to me.
Mhm.
It is
I like
really
that.
special.
I love that you say
I
that,
love
too.
Lala. She'll have like the baby on the boob, and then she's fixing
off.
Ocean's hair. Like it's
It
really
is.
beautiful to watch.
No, I love seeing my sister in that
Yeah.
position. It really is amazing and beautiful.
Thank you.
Of course.
Best mama.
I'm so happy.
From the best mama.
I know.
Thanks, you
Gold.
guys.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
No, I'm very proud of you.
We're
Baby.
so welcome to the world, Miss Sosa Kent.
Yes.
Oh boy, baby number 3 possibly. And Lala said it while crying beautifully. Like, no one gets to see that side of her. Her just being a mom, her just being amazing with her kids. And I know some people don't want to see that, especially with a show like Vanderpump, where it's based off the drama, the friendships, who's going out with who's partying with who's effing who, all of that. I just feel like with Vanderpump, we watch them grow from these like party animals to now parents of 4 and 5-year-olds, and just how different they are. And to even just see Lala, of all people, she was so young and immature when she started Vanderpump, and just to see how far she's come has made me really proud of her. And I know that like people were not happy with her. I still have love for all of them, and I agree, like, what she has said and done to Ariana is not right. I also still love who she is as a person, and sometimes people just go in different directions in life. And not that they were ever that close. They were close, but sometimes people just need to go in different directions. And Ariana is at a different point in her life than Lala is. Same with Sheena. And it's sad to see friendships, dismantle. But sometimes it's just how life is, and maybe one day they can come back together. But I have love for them equally, just very differently. And you're not always going to agree with what somebody says and does all the time, so it's normal to feel that way. I just feel like there was a lot of hate put onto her, and though it was understandable, I think that it was just way too much hate for no reason, if you get what I mean. And all the people that were like, oh, well, they're trying to secure their spot on the show. Well, why wouldn't they? This is what they've been doing their whole life now. Since they, started Vanderpump till now, like, they've had this. And it's what provides for their kids and their family. So anyone's going to feel that pressure, especially when it comes to a job. And this is their job. I don't necessarily think that what Ariana was doing affected them and the show, and they should have never took it out on her, and that's something I disagree with Sheena and Lala about. I just think that they were thinking about their kids and the future of what they're going to do for the rest of their life, and they kind of jumped the gun a little bit and got angry at the wrong person. Because what Ariana was doing was being real. She was doing what she would do in everyday life, with or without the cameras. And that's what, like, a reality show is all about. There was no need for her to have a conversation with Sandoval when it was absolutely going to go nowhere. And it was the same shit, different day with this man. And he played up for the camera. And I agree with Ariana with the whole, like, if he can't say it without cameras, what makes it any different if the cameras are there? Well, you should have been telling me without these cameras here, not when the cameras are here. That shows what kind of person he is. Okay, now I'm ranting. Let's get back to the podcast. But please leave your opinions about it all down below. I love hearing them. And I realize we might not all agree, and that's okay.
I love it. Should we do ache and relief?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
You got off like pretty easy though, because you were supposed to be hosting the whole episode, and she was
She
like,
didn't do anything.
"She's like, you got a good night's sleep. Why don't you come in and talk about the birth?" I'm like, "All right, I'll come."
Oh.
Do you want to start us off on the ache and relief?
Yeah,
Mama?
but I don't really have any aches because I've been in such bliss with this baby.
I love it.
So
This is the only episode that I would allow you to get away with no ache.
yeah, I have
know.
no aches. I just adore those kids that you've brought into this world.
Thank you.
Love them.
They love the Jeej.
They love.
Oh my God. I mean,
They
what
love the
you have like
Jeej.
the classiest, like funniest Jeej alive. I was going to say grandma, but I'm like, no, it doesn't work with
I'm
you.
the Jeej.
Yeah, the
I'm the
Jeej.
Jeej. I love when Ocean says, hey, Jeej.
When I go and pick her up sometimes from school when they can or Lauren's like working or something. Law. Sorry.
No,
Like I'll
cute.
go and get her and like I wake her up in her knapsack and sometimes she'll look at me and she'll go, "Where Mama? Where Gigi?" I'm like, "Well, I'm here, you little shit."
That made me so happy. The other day, I surprised her and picked her up from school, and she didn't realize that like I was there because Easton's been taking her, and she sees Brock and she's a little disoriented because she just had nap time, and so I bend down and I go, "Hi, baby," and she goes, "Mama," and she was it was like the best.
Picking her up when she's in her nap time.
Yeah.
There's nothing better.
She's
Yeah.
so cute. I love seeing her. Hi, Goose.
I love when you tell her that.
It is really cute. TT, what's your ache and relief?
My relief is this baby just being here and just the energy and the aura in the house and just everything. I'm very, very, I feel at home. It
Yeah.
sounds weird, but like I feel great. And my ache is what I just told you guys. I feel just very off and I don't know why. So
Today, you feel off.
yeah, I
today.
feel off today and I'm hoping it'll pass.
It will pass,
But yeah,
baby.
no, I have a lot of tools that I can use. I've got an amazing family. And like I said, home feels like home. So I feel like that. My ache is just I don't feel like I should be
Not
with this new
100
baby
today.
and everything like that. And I got to just get over that hump. But I do want to say thank you to everybody who DMs me and sees how I'm doing with the mental issues I, voiced and things. So that's just what the ache is. It's here again, kind of. It comes in waves. So,
That's okay.
but thank you to everybody, and
We love you.
we'll be
too.
back.
We
on
love
here. I
you.
love you guys. So thank you.
Thanks for being honest about that too,
Mhm.
and just feeling off. Maybe try Lala's placenta pills.
I said that on the way here. I was like, "You want a placenta pill?"
Placebo
weird?
effect. Is
I
it
would
weird?
try anything. I'd be like, okay,
I don't know.
no,
Maybe
that
I'll
might
take
be
a
weird.
nap.
That's
Let me ask.
cannibalism.
Book.
That is.
I'm glad to hear that Lisa doesn't really have any aches because this new baby has made her just so happy. And it's another grandbaby for her. So, new babies always bring happiness. I'm sad to hear that Easton has been struggling with some mental health issues. I think that it's very brave of him to talk about it, just like anyone that talks about it, even Rachel, guys. I just think that there's such negative stigmas when it comes to people and their mental health. And I've seen a lot of people even just here on YouTube where they go and they talk about how they're feeling, they break down, and then they have people that just take that live or that video that they do and literally tear them apart for feeling like that when they're opening up about their emotions and how they're feeling. That's so wrong, so messed up, and so just disgusting to me. And then people wonder why people don't talk about what they're feeling and going through. I've had similar experiences. It's just recently where I have tried to let my friends know, like, hey, I'm not in the best mental state right now. And they took it as something that it wasn't and ran with this narrative that I don't even want to talk about because it's not true. And it's completely crazy that people do this. And then you wonder, you doing that is only affecting their mental health worse. Yet you don't give a fuck because you would never be bashing how they're feeling if you gave a fuck. So stop it. Stop it. So I had to throw that in there because I'm very proud of Easton talking about it, knowing that, how people are, that they can just twist that narrative to make it seem like something it's not. I think these are important topics to talk about, and nobody should be bashed or hindered by telling their situation, their story, their feelings, any of that. And I'm very aware there are other people on this platform too that use that victim card to be a perpetual victim all of the time and always something wrong, and I get it. It's hard, but if somebody is being open and honest about their feelings and you are going in and attacking them for the way that they're feeling, what does that make you? Not a good person, in my opinion. But anyways, thank you, Easton, and I hope that they can talk more about this because I do feel like these are important topics. And even when Rachel talks about them and she opens up, I'm glad that she is. And I'm happy that she's making awareness to mental health issues because it is important to talk about. And I can agree to disagree with her on certain points. That's, anybody can do that. Anyone's not going to always agree with somebody else. So I just want to throw that out there too.
Cannibalism.
I'll read a book
Maybe
when I
not.
get home.
There you go. Read a
Sit
book.
by- you sit out in the sun and read a book.
Sunshine
That's
walk.
what I meant to.
20 minutes of sunshine a day uninterrupted,
Yep.
guys.
Yes, that's what I need. But there it is.
Yeah.
On to you.
On to me, my ache and relief. My relief is definitely just being able to be present for Baby Sosa. That was like a gift you gave me, and it was beautiful.
I was so happy to have you.
It was amazing. And also, baby Carter being born just a few days later. I'm an auntie.
How many days later?
Amazing.
2, right? He was on the 5th?
Are they going to be a
I
little
think he
boyfriend and
was
girlfriend?
the 6th or the 7th.
Okay.
Yeah. Possibly. We'll see. He's just a cutie patootie. And so that is my relief. My ache is that I haven't met him yet, but I am going home October 2nd to the 5th. So I will be meeting him, chilling with him, bringing him to jujitsu. So I won't be bringing him. Everyone relax. I'm not going to be.
That's messed up, Jessica. He's a baby.
He's a baby. You're
Put him
not
in a full
supposed to.
Nelson.
Anyways,
No, he's
yeah.
so cute. And you sent your sister like the best of the best, like postpartum.
Yeah. Thank you
Package.
guys for helping out too with that.
Well, I just love when babies come into the mix.
Yeah.
I have a
too.
friend who's trying.
The best.
It is. It's so
Moves
happy.
her arms once and it's for that.
The best, Jerry. It's the best.
So I do have an ache, and I obviously have a relief. Okay, I'll do my relief first.
Okay.
My relief is when I was pregnant with Sosa, because it was a different pregnancy, and I've been very open about this, I'm like, how will I ever love anybody, my own child even, as much as I love Ocean Kent? Like, there's no freaking way. And I had prepared myself. During childbirth. I was like, she may come out, and you may have a different reaction than you're expecting. And it may take some time. And the moment she popped out, I was like, oh my gosh, I know what people mean. Like, you have more love to give. You're fully capable. You love them the exact same, but you love your kids differently, right? So that was a huge relief that when she popped out, and even now, like, I'm just
You
like,
can't get enough of her.
I can't get enough of her. Like at night when it's just me and her and she's on the boob and we're just gazing at each other because that's the bonding moment, right, for me and her. And I'm fucking obsessed with her. Okay. So that was a huge relief.
Yeah.
My ache is I'm upset that we are not more progressive with the breastfeeding thing. I don't like that it's kind of something where it's pushed on you, breastfeeding. It's not asked in hospitals. They just say, we're sending in the lactation specialist instead of saying, do you plan on breastfeeding? Are you interested? Is it something you'd like to know more about? If so, we'll send in a specialist. I wish that it were more like that. And I would think in 2024, it would be more like that. Because number one, it's extremely difficult. It can be, I've had friends where it's like, it's so isolating. I don't want to breastfeed my baby. I don't like it. It depresses me. I feel like moms should be able to make the call instead of like, they've freshly just given birth and it's like, lactation specialist. It's like, well, hold on. Like, this wasn't a part of my plan. So that is my ache because it happened to your sister.
It's a great ache. It did happen to her. She is now officially bottle feeding the baby. But you guys, she allowed me to say on here, she went in with a plan of bottle feeding. Everyone around her knew. She ended up there was a lot that went on during her labor. She did end up getting a little pressured to breastfeed. She did end up trying it against a lot of our wishes. Against her. And she was like, this is why I had a plan. And now she's on the bottle. But yes, I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
Well, can I make a statement as well?
Yes.
I thought it was weird because we got a second room for me to stay.
Yeah.
They called it the dad's room.
Yeah, that's not progressive. Like, we're in LA. If they're calling it the dad's room in LA.
Right? And now they don't. It's the primary bedroom,
Yeah,
not
as
the
it should be.
master.
Yeah.
But they're still using that term in medical.
Yes.
And like,
That's
what
weird.
if you had a
I
wife?
stayed in the dad's room. It's like,
What if you're a single mom or you had a wife?
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
so anyway, just throwing that out there.
Thank you.
I'm so glad that her relief is just that feeling like she's been talking about. She even talked about it on Mama Still Got It. Like, am I going to love this baby the same? Like, how am I ever going to love another human being like I love Ocean? And just to hear that, like, the moment she saw Sosa, that feeling was there. That's an amazing thing to hear. And I know that it's a feeling that every mother feels, every father feels even, when they have a baby. It's something that they can't describe. It's something that I don't even know. I'm also very happy to hear that baby Carter has arrived, and it's just a couple days after Sosa. Like, that is so awesome for Jess that she's an auntie, and I can't wait for her to meet baby Carter. I think she's already like such a important role model in Ocean's life and will be in Sosa's and now Carter's. So I'm so happy for Jess. She's going to be the most amazing aunt ever. And it was very interesting to hear about the breastfeeding and how they just kind of push that onto people. And that is very, very old schoolish in the sense that, like, I agree with Lala. They should ask, like, or like, if this is your plan is to bottle feed and not breastfeed at all, they should be down with that plan. Or give them a choice, not push lactation and breastfeeding onto somebody. And I'm sad to hear that Jess's sister had to deal with it and that they made her try and she went and tried against her will and she didn't like it and is now happily bottle feeding. That's something that I don't know a lot about, something I hope to learn more about and understand, and the reasons why some do and the reasons why some people don't. But I think it is that mother's choice or that family's choice. And yes, it's very non-progressive that they have a dad's room, that they don't call it the significant other's room or a family room for other family members. Like, get with the times, people. I'm with you, Lisa.
Listen up.
That was the best, though, when I filled out the birth certificate and there was no dad information and I get a phone call. They're like, hi, we're wondering if we can come by your room to talk about Sosa's birth certificate. And I was like, I know why they're coming. They were like, so, hon, are we just not interested in putting the dad's information? I go, I got a sperm donor. And they go, well, great. Perfect. That's all we needed to know. And I'm like, thank you.
You could have asked that on the phone.
The dads. It is interesting. It's very interesting. Still, the energy of like, are we not, even the question, and I know that they meant well by it and they were great, but the question even of like, do you not want to put the dad?
But I can see where they're coming from because the baby just was born. All of this is going on. Who knows if the dad was like, oh, I got to fill that out. His mind was elsewhere. I can see where the
100%. I was not offended by them coming in, but it was so nice because it was my first experience being like, no,
Downer.
that's me, baby.
Yeah.
She's just yours, babe.
Nobody
We're so
else.
proud of you.
I love it. I'm so happy that I got to come in and be with you guys.
We're glad you came in, too.
You made my job really easy today.
That's why.
Well, we know
The
you
accountability.
love that.
She didn't want it.
Well, this is your episode, so take us out.
Oh, geez. Thanks for listening to the Lala podcast and hope to see you back next week.
All right. That was terrible. But we did it.
I love you
There's
guys.
some YouTube stuff. Yeah, YouTube drops. We all know that Wednesday. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell for that notification when we drop. There you go, Lisa.
There you
Thank
go.
you, Easton.
You did a great job.
I've done it before.
I think you should be the main host now.
Okay,
Probably
no.
not.
I'll pass the wand. I'm passing the wand.
I do get it next week. Or some week.
Next week.
Next week. I'm the host.
Perfect.
Tune in, please.
I love it. You guys, I love you so much. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Give Them Lala podcast. I will catch you the next time I get a full night's sleep. Bye.
Well, that was a great episode. I enjoyed it. I know a lot of people were wondering about Baby Sosa, and there was actually an article that came out that talked about why they named Baby Sosa Baby Sosa. Now, I do know the next episode after this, they kind of talk about it on the podcast, but I did want to give a little bit of context because it's something that I was wondering as well. So Lala says that this has been a name that she's admired for a long time. And she revealed that she did get the idea from the famous MLB star, Sammy Sosa. Funny how I brought that up in I believe it was the Rachel Goes Rogue Live, or maybe even the other last Lala video that I did, that like Sosa reminds me of Sammy Sosa. Like, where did she get this name? Well, she did have some admirations because of Sammy Sosa, the baseball player. She says, I have always loved the name Sosa. I loved it ever since I saw the movie Hardball with Keanu Reeves. All the kids go to the baseball game and they see Sammy Sosa. And I just was, oh my God. I'm obsessed with the name. So Sosa had been on her list. She even says that it has traveled with her from the time she was playing with Barbies to now, and the name had never left. Of course, a lot of other fans were kind of shocked that she actually liked the name Sammy Sosa, and she admitted that she chose the name because of that. Which on the 23rd of September, on Lala's Instagram post, she says, to make this very clear for the final time, Sosa is not named after anyone. Her name is Sosa because I loved it. Period. But on the podcast also, Easton noted that when they found out that Sosa meant saltwater in Portuguese, that it was just like a win-win situation. They also claimed that they had no idea the meaning of the name Sosa before she was born. So yeah, I wanted to throw that in here because I know that's something that we've all been talking about and it's been mentioned and kind of joked about here. So I thought that was pretty cool and I wanted to let you guys know about it as well. If we do watch the next podcast, then maybe we'll get to hear all of the name picking and why she loves Sammy Sosa and all that. If you want to hear the next podcast, let me know down below because I had a lot of fun bringing back the Give Them Lala podcast here on my channel, and it is something that I'm considering, and I want to know what you guys think about it. Now, speaking kind of the ocean in the sense that we all just experienced a really devastating hurricane that has hit the United States and has destroyed and devastated many people in the South, especially people in Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and Tennessee. They were very much impacted by this hurricane. I was somebody that watched the storm from start to finish, especially once it hit landfall and the whole eye of the hurricane hitting Perry, Florida, and all of that. I also was watching because my family lives down south, so I wanted to make sure that they were safe, they were okay. I had heard even before the hurricane had made landfall that there were tornadoes and lots of tornadoes down south, a lot of warnings, a lot of tornadoes that happened, and that's just how I am. I watch a YouTube channel here called Ryan Hall, y'all. He does the weather and so much more. He actually has storm chasers that he puts up on the screen too that are out there chasing the storm, but he was live all day letting people know the newest tornado warnings, the newest tornado watches, the newest hurricane warnings and watches, and all of that. Check him out. I will link him down below. I literally watch him every single time we have any kind of storm here in the United States. Along with the storm chaser, Reed Trimmer. He was down in Perry, Florida, and he did an amazing job covering the hurricane. He was there for the eye of the storm and just getting to see the 128-mile-an-hour winds and him being in it was kind of interesting and exciting to watch at the same time, though the devastation that came afterwards has not been nice. And I know that him along with Ryan do a lot of hurricane, tornado relief, all of that. Even when they were out in the hurricane and Reed would see somebody, he would make sure that they were okay. These are great creators that I support that I will link down below for you. One of my friends, though, that lives in Florida, that is a subscriber here to a lot of people that I am in their chats as well, she lost everything. She lost her apartment. She lost her car. She lost it all. I know this has been very hard for her, and she's trying to remain positive, and she has a wonderful neighbor that's letting her stay there, but she needs help. And I'm all about helping anyone when I can. And I have a platform here that I can bring more support to her. So I wanted to share with you all her video of what she went through, just a little bit, because it only shows a little bit of what she went through, along with sharing her Cash App. So that way, if you feel like you can support her, give her even just a little something to help her along in her new journey in life, that would mean the world to her. And of course, just let her know that Sunshinery sent you. She knows exactly who I am, and just send her some positive vibes because she definitely needs them. And I just want her to know that we are all here to help her no matter what happens. We are here to help and support. That is what community is all about. Fuck all the haters and what they have to say. You are going through a horrible time in your life, something you never expected to happen. And this is what friends are for. This is what community is for, is us rallying around and helping those when we can. Especially when they're going through something like this. So you can stay to watch this. I really would like if you guys just watch this just to see what a fellow subscriber has gone through during this hurricane. And if you can help her, I greatly appreciate it. And I know she greatly appreciates everything that she's receiving and the help that she's been given. And it means the world to her, especially when she's lost it all. So I'm going to go out on that video. I hope you all, though, have a wonderful day. We will be back here again soon. Make sure, though, to send her at least a little bit of love and support. And I hope you guys remember, don't let anyone dull your shine. Keep on shining. And even through those rainy days, the sun always comes out to shine. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and thank you for being here.